office or the crib. It's Big Zeus, ain't you the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man, it's the 2-hour lunch break, dog, I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't you the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. And we back, Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man, it's the 2-hour lunch break, dog, I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't you the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man, it's the 2-hour lunch break, dog, I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't you the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. And we back, Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man, it's the 2-hour lunch break, dog, I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't you the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man, it's the 2-hour lunch break, dog, I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't you the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. And we back, Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man, it's the 2-hour lunch break, dog, I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't you the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man, it's the 2-hour lunch break, dog, I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't you the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. And we back, Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man, it's the 2-hour lunch break, dog, I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the...
What's up, Austin? Welcome back to another live edition of the 1-Hour News Break, brought to you by the 2-Hour Lunch Break podcast, man, recorded at DAWA Studios. We're thrilled to be here in East Austin, Texas. Today is Tuesday, July 30th, and we have an amazing episode lined up for you. I'm Trotwood Zeus, one half of the 2-Hour Lunch Break podcast.
And I am Saint. What's going on out there, family? For those tuning in first time, the 2-Hour Lunch Break podcast is all about amplifying voices of Black and brown entrepreneurs and artists in the city. Our slogan is a podcast for Austin, from Austin, shared with you around the world. We have a light of fun-filled, amazing talents and stories here in the community, and the city is so unique. But here for the 1-Hour News Break podcast, we like to switch it up a little bit. Instead of our usual interviews, it's just diving into our current events, Austin, and also local news around. We're here to share our perspective and on current events, social news, and local news, and everything in between.
Now, before we get started, remember you can catch all episodes on your favorite streaming platforms. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at 2HLBpod and on X at the 2 Hour Lunch.
Now, Zeus, I know everybody's asking us, who's this fine young gentleman to my left, right?
Handsome black man.
The handsome black man.
Already know.
Why don't you introduce our guest for today?
Man, so man, we got a special guest in the building. This has actually been a couple years in the running. We've been talking about this for a while. He's actually my barber for I think probably since like 2020, something like that.
Yeah.
We got a fantastic guest in the building today, making a real difference in the community. Joining us, we got Derek D. Rogers, the founder of Barber Vision Barbershop, right here in Austin, Texas.
Nice.
I was gonna say, man. So Derek is coming from Marksville, Louisiana. Moved to Austin in 03.
Country boy.
In 2017, he established Barber Vision, a unique barbershop that blends classic barber services with a strong focus on community, great service, and building personal relationships with clients. Now, Barber Vision isn't just any barbershop. They offer a one-of-a-kind experience with shampoo bowls at every station, straight razor shades with the old school hot towel treatments, and expertise in all hair types, man. Also, it's a kid-friendly space with great positive vibes and a professional team that loves what they do. Now, today, Derek is here to talk about the upcoming Barber Vision Back to School event happening August 11th from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. This incredible event offers free haircuts and school supplies to students in need, making sure that they start the school year off right.
Man, we are thrilled to have you here, Mr. Rogers, as they say, but AKA D. So tell us what brought you Barber Vision? What said Barber Vision is my vision for me?
Well, first off, man, that intro was absolutely
Hey, man.
That's my boy.
Real buttery with it, man. Real buttery.
Yeah, man, it was, and I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate what y'all are doing, man. This is absolutely amazing.
Yes, sir.
Barber Vision, that name came to me based on the experiences I was having behind the chair before I became an owner.
Okay.
And I really feel like barbers, we have like a window into life that most people don't have. You know, we get to learn all those little integral details that y'all don't even share with y'all spouses, man. So we got to be able to take what we get from the community, and we can share that in a professional way, in a non-disclosure type of way, with the people that are coming in, help them move forward with their journey, and also it benefits us too. And so, the simple part there from the barber side of things is like, you have to, when the client comes in, sit down, and he tells you what he wants, you got to be able to imagine that in your head, envision that in your head, and then you gotta put it down. You got to give them what they want. So that's kind of where it brewed from.
That's gotcha. Man, so I'm curious, man. I know we talked a lot off air, right? So Marksville, Louisiana, Central Louisiana.
Yeah.
How did you go from there all the way to Austin? Like, talk about that journey a little bit.
Well, when I graduated high school, I attended UL, the Raging Cajuns in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Okay.
And I met my wife there. We were dating for most of the college experience. At a certain point, man, and no knock to anybody that's pursuing a higher level of education. I decided to step away at that juncture because I just felt like it was the right thing for me, and I would never push anybody away from that. But it was a certain point where, man, I was getting it, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, I get out of class at 2. I might do, a couple hours of haircuts, go to work at 5. I was working at Lowe's or something back in the day, and get off at 11. I might be cutting till 2, 3 in the morning. Wake up, do the same gear again. It got to a point, man, I was so busy that the local barbershop next to campus was kind of getting upset because I couldn't. They blessed me. God blessed me enough to be in the athletic dorm, but not the main athletic dorm.
Okay.
But that secondary athletic dorm where the golf guys are, the track guys are, and all that. But they were friends with the football players and the basketball players. So I was getting all of them. I was getting all of them. And so my wife came to me at some point like, this is what you really should do. This is what you really, really, really should do. And I could see you having your own space. I could see you cutting celebrities. I could see you doing stuff like that. And I've done all of those things. And I'm really proud that she gave me that push at that time. And it wasn't easy because both of my parents are educators, man. My mama was a teacher for 33 years. My dad was a teacher, a principal. He worked for the school board, worked for the community college. He's retired. He's president of the Retired Teachers Association right now. Me telling him about the quit school was not a good conversation.
Oh, you know it.
It was not a good conversation at all.
I know it.
So, whenever she graduated, about a year or so later, I made the move here to Austin as well. And I gotta say this, man. Austin has opened up their arms and loved on me from day one, and it's still happening. So I appreciate the city for that, man. That's a big deal.
No, for sure, for sure. And I see you're giving back on August the 11th. You're doing your back to school drive.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start this particular event?
Every part of our life, every day of our journey means something. And I worked for Hair Studio for the first 9 years of my career. Then I switched to Generations with Alex. I'm sure y'all heard of him in the city.
Yeah, Morris.
Yeah, exactly. That's my guy.
Shout out.
And so he did a back to school thing, and we had always did that. Like we've extended our hours, maybe came in on an off day to get the kids ready.
Right.
But we were still, maybe we did a little discount, but we didn't give it. But his thing was 100% free. So I'm gonna be straight up, man. That idea came from that journey and that experience with him, and him being the type of person he is. When you see somebody do things the right way, you do it the right way too.
Right.
But you do your version of it.
Right.
So that kind of was inspired by then. I've done it before. We've got some other things. It's been a couple years since I did it, but it's time to get back to what we do.
Gotcha.
And that's the reason where we at right now. And I'm excited, man. I really am excited to see what turns out from being able to be in this space and using this platform to do what we can do to help somebody else.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Man, so I'm curious, right? So I know you were talking about your love for Austin and kind of, what Austin gives to you and what you give back to Austin. So I was going to say, man, with that said, what kind of impact do you hope to make with, this kind of event with the community?
In the past, man, we've had some people that you can tell by the looks on their faces that they really needed that. Like, we know how hard we out here, and even if we have means, it's still a mad scramble to try to get all the stuff that's necessary and fulfill all the school lists and have it their own time.
Sure.
And
Going
then,
through it now.
you still have that obligation as a parent to get them ready.
Yeah.
But to see somebody come through and try to do something to help you, and the look on their faces, bro, there's no money you could pay me to make me feel the way their gratitude makes you feel.
Right.
It's about their expression. It's about how you know that you helped them. They know they was changed that day. They know they look at you a different way. A lot of our faithful clients have been with us for a long time. That's something. I did like, customer appreciation days and stuff like that in the past, and they still talk about that. So for me, that's the way I was raised, man. You do something for somebody, you got to make sure that that you appreciate it, and they appreciate what you have done. So it's the right thing to do.
That's that's big. And I know you said you emphasized, the kind of the classic barber service and giving that appreciation back when it's given to you, right? How do you balance maintaining that traditional barbershop experience while also fostering, strong community ties?
Well, one of the biggest, like, we have a lot of reviews. It's nearly 5 stars on Google. And I read through all the reviews. I try to respond to every single last one of them. And one of the things that I hear the most is like, man, I love the vibe in there. And we've moved locations recently. We're gonna talk about that here in a minute.
Right.
And we moved from one location to the other, and people are still saying they love the vibe. Now, I don't know what I did, to be honest. To answer that question, I don't know what I did. I'm just waking up every day trying to be D. I'm not trying to be nobody else. I'm trying to do what I do, the way I do it, the way I was raised to do it. And if I could answer that question, I'd open up 10 of them. But I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. I'm just trying to be
that's
genuinely
honest.
who I am. I don't know. I'm not trying. I'm in no competition with nobody else.
Organic.
I'm just trying to be me. I'm just trying to be D.
Yeah, that's beautiful, though.
Right. So I know Barber Vision has been around since 2017, but I know off air you said you got another anniversary coming up. Talk about that a little bit.
So the shop's been open, I think, January of. We got some some things in the works around 2017, but the first day we opened was January 9th of 18.
Okay.
And so that's the true anniversary, but we moved locations a couple years ago, and on August 1st will be our 2-year anniversary at our current new location. And man, I am super stoked to be in that space,
Right.
in that neighborhood, and things have been going really, really well. We got almost double the square footage. I got an amazing team. No knock on any barber. I'm not no knock on any barber I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
But this is probably the most talented, cohesive group I've ever been a part of. And I'm really excited to announce that about those guys. Those guys are absolutely phenomenal.
Right.
That's what's up.
Now, kind of interjecting a little bit, right, from my own experience, I remember what that shop looked like when y'all first got there, right? Like it was like a old lady salon type of, bruh.
Chandeliers.
Like they had like it was sectioned off in booths. It was a hallway to get through there.
Brown
Bro, it was
walls and burgundy
crazy,
ceilings.
dog.
What was you thinking about?
And so to see how it looked then,
and now.
compared to, bro, it's a crazy difference,
Yeah,
dog.
yeah,
It's
huge
crazy,
turnaround.
bro.
That's what's up.
It's a huge turnaround. A lot of late nights. Anybody that really know me, man, I try to do everything on my own, and that's a blessing and a curse, because it takes a lot of time. But if I can do it, I try to do it. But if I have to get some help, I don't mind getting help. But I try to do as much as I can. So that's my baby. I ain't gonna lie to nobody.
Gotcha.
And I try to put in as much work out to give the community that comes in and the barbers that come in a stable environment that they can be proud of. So that's a big deal. I appreciate you saying it because he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
It was rough. It was rough.
Speaking of rough, tell me about some of the challenges you face as an Austin business owner, because I know this demographic can be somewhat challenging per se. So yeah, I'm just curious.
I'm gonna use the shop changing locations as an opportunity to answer that question.
Yeah.
So, man, I found out like maybe 30, 35 days before my lease was over that we got to move.
Oh wow.
Or they gonna double the rent.
Oh
Yep.
wow.
In a space that I had maxed out, we had built it for 4. I pushed 5 in there.
Yeah.
I remember.
And they talking about doubling the rent. Like, I'm like, what you mean though? Man, we was in a, that was a huge opportunity for me. Shout out to AB in the way. That was a huge deal. It was a 12,000 square foot workout facility. He let me turn my barbershop in the lobby area, the front lobby area, into my barbershop. So that was absolutely amazing. But we had to make a move and make a move quick. And man, through the listings and going foot to foot, trying to different locations, I probably looked at about 200 and some locations, bro. And it was a mad scramble. And just luckily, this particular space that we in, previously it was a salon. It was vacant for a couple of years. It had no sign on the door. I went and looked at another spot, and the realtor was like, the broker was like, hey, man, I sold the place about 6 months ago. And it don't hurt because the place we was looking at was good and garbage. And so we went to the other place, and man, immediately when I walked in the door, I knew that was the spot. Because the hardest thing with how much Austin is growing is that the permitting and stuff like that, bro, it would have been minimum 9 weeks of not being able to work at any other space where I had to change the plumbing and stuff like that. So I was blessed enough to find this place, and we was able to move straight in because the basic accommodations were there. We just had to work on the cosmetics.
Right.
And so that was crazy to try to figure that out in 35 days. And I'm talking about like solidifying a lease.
Yeah, to make some moves.
Commercially takes probably 60 days, and my broker knocked it out the park, bro. And we got in there on time.
Right.
And because in 9 weeks, man, you're gonna lose your whole crew.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We done.
Yeah.
And so that was extremely scary, but you know, back me against the wall and come out with my scratching.
Man, so I'm curious. So piggybacking off of that, you're talking about the move. Y'all moved to an area where it's not a lot of us, right?
Yeah, man.
So I'm curious. With that said, what was that initial reception like when they saw like, oh, hey, it's a black-owned barbershop dropping into the middle of what, Steck? What was that reception like in the beginning?
It was. I never forget. Actually, everybody's been really, really nice, and everybody's been super welcoming. I've had no issues in terms of what we could be dealing with. But I remember they had like a guy that was one of the clients' clients. I mean, one of the barber's clients. Sorry about that. And he like, man, you in this neighborhood? Man, you must have just checked the box for him. You must have just checked that box for him, man, because there's no way. I've been living around here my whole life. Ain't no way you're supposed to be in here.
Right.
And so
Right.
that's the only time I got that.
Mm-hmm.
And my experience has totally not been like that
Yeah.
since then. And I just met up with the owners of Black Pearl Books
Okay.
over on Barnett Road. They on the back end of Allendale, and I just went and introduced myself to Just Washed. It's two twins. They're on the car wash. It's been open for about 11 years. I just went to another shop, Connect ATX, and it's like 4 or 5 of us in the neighborhood now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really cool. We have an opportunity to change the demographics and make it to where, like, there's no reason why we shouldn't feel comfortable here. There's no reason why we shouldn't be a part of every place in Austin. I'm into inclusion, not exclusion. So
Gotcha.
I'm excited to be there. It was rough because initially you see the people walking in and then they don't look like you, and but we've been changing that, slowly been changing that. So I'm excited about that because we deserve to be represented everywhere, man.
That's what's up. And you talked about the negatives of that experience, right? And you've also talked about some of the blessings, like, getting the space within 35 days. Also, just keeping your, consistent team and membership. Give me another positive that you said from having Barber Vision. This has been my blessing, or from this person coming into the office, to my office, right?
Yeah.
Perspective. This has been my gift. What would you say that would be?
I guess there's a couple ways I can answer that question. What has been a gift to the business? I strongly believe in, you have to love what you do. That's why you guys do this. If you love what you do, it's going to show in what you do, and the people are going to recognize that as being genuine. I got a lot of youngsters that come into the shop over the years, and they in that space, like high school, getting ready to transition into to college and all of that, and they asking what should they get into, and that's the first thing I'm always going to say. Make sure that you love what you do. And I've seen that, and I've seen people grow because they've chosen what they love to do, and it makes you, because it's going to get rough. Some days it's going to be rough, bro. It's going to be rough. And so if you love what you do, you can end the day, wake up the next morning, and be amped and ready to get back at it. So seeing that in the people that we spend our time with on a daily basis, it's been huge. That's been a big deal.
Gotcha. So, man, earlier, man, I know you were talking about the team, right? And those are some really good guys, man. Talk about them a little bit. Like, I know you got a pretty diverse team. You got a little bit of everybody when you walk through the door.
I do.
How did you foster that, and was that intentional?
That was organic. That was God's doing. That was divinely inspired. That was not the intention. Yeah, we are Black owned, but we are multicultural staff. I've got myself and my man Joe, who's also African American. We've got Columbo, who's Colombian. We've got an Asian guy in Brian. We've got Zane, who's Mexican and Black. We've also got Jelani. I'm pretty sure he's Puerto Rican. He's one of our newer guys. And we've got Maya, who's African American from the East Side. So and she does a lot of braiding and loctician type stuff for us. So we that is who we are. Right. That is who we are. Right. And as diverse as this city is, I think it's more of a representation of where Austin is growing to. But don't forget, we at the core of it, we still who we are.
Yeah.
Right.
And you talked about earlier, the free haircuts. What else is going on in the barbershop?
Perfect. I'm glad you asked that. That's the part I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
So yeah, from 1 to 6, the staff that I have that day will be giving out free haircuts. We shooting for 100 kids. If 300 show up, we're going to see what happens. Right. But we're also buying backpacks for the kids. We're also going to try to fulfill that school list off the ISD, and we're doing a shoe drive as well. Because I got a couple of my guys that are some sneakerheads, and they saying they wanna donate some of their stock too. So that's what we got going on. I'm really excited about that. And if this helps anybody anyway, man, y'all don't be shy. I would like, because I'm trying to get this thing organized. Barber Vision 8777 is how we find us on Instagram. Just hit us with a DM, and we'll see and be prepared for everybody that comes through. So that's the goal.
Gotcha.
That's the goal.
So, you know, I was gonna say, so discussing the drives, man. I know y'all do a lot of community work, right? With that said, though, what role, like long term, what role do you see barbershop playing? I mean, I'm sorry, not barbershop, Barber Vision playing in the community beyond like just being a barbershop? Like, I honestly, me speaking personally, from my perspective, I look at y'all as like becoming like a beacon of the local community more than anything else. You know what I mean?
Wow. Well, honestly, I'm astonished about how much this thing has grown all on its own. But the hardest thing is to get people in that mindset of understanding that your reward in life is directly direct reflection of your level of service to others. The more you give of yourself to others, the more life is gonna reward that back with you. I've proven that so many times I can't even talk about it, really. But it's a hard sell because we in this instant gratification world, and people want what they want right now. And you know, I want what I want right now too. But you know, if I have to wait on what I really need and what's gonna really make me feel whole and fulfilled inside, then I'm willing to do the work until we get there. So that's gonna be the hardest thing in terms of what we able to grow it to, is how many people can we get to believe that that's really the way this thing works.
Yeah, you talked about putting forth some effort and work. What about upcoming initiatives? What's coming up next? New projects? What's on the horizon?
What's new? I think the biggest thing that I'm working on right now, honestly, is trying to get the word out about who we are and what we do. And I really appreciate you guys giving me this particular opportunity to be able to do that. So anywhere that I can to be able to, I always have a theme. This year's theme is expansion. And people, when I say like, oh, you opened up another shop? Well, not necessarily. That's not what I'm really speaking on. I truly believe that we all gifted with some talents. We all gifted with some things that make us uniquely us. Even though y'all doing this podcast together, y'all both bring some gifts to the table. And I really think that we should take time to figure out what are those gifts, cultivate and perfect those gifts, and give those gifts back. And then let's see collectively, if we put all our gifts together, where would that take us? And so that's the big objective, is that expansion theme that I have going, and seeing if we can get everybody on the same accord.
There we go, man. So kind of shifting gears a little bit, right? Let's talk the future, right? Like long term. Where do you see Barber Vision being at, like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Where do you see that going? Do you see? I know we're talking about expansion. Do you see maybe another shop down the line? What are you thinking in that respect?
We on the east side. We on Springdale, and right before I opened the first shop, some of y'all here on the east side know Mr. Bubba Stewart, Dollhouse Barbershop, right? And I met him because we used to call Big John the Clipper guy. All the barbers know Big John. I think he's passed away now, but Big John told me, hey man, Mr. Bubba is getting ready to close his shop. You may want to go over there and see if he maybe has some equipment that he can share with you. And so I went over there, man. Me and him became good friends day one. And what I found out in that venture is that he had been in that particular space for 50 years. 50 years. Oh, wow. And the city was attempting to make him a Texas landmark. And so I said all that to say, it was unable to be fulfilled because he didn't own the building. And that broke my heart. It broke my heart. And the last time I saw him, I finished up the renovation on the initial space that we had over at the gym space. And I went pick him up on the east side. We stopped at Pete Terry's. We got some burgers and things. And I brought him up there, walked him up the stairs, and he was super proud about the way the thing turned out. And Zach, you remember, that's barber pole that was inside the building. The barber pole's in that building now. That building was spinning at Mr. Stewart's place for all those years, and now it's spinning at Barber Vision. And we're going to keep that thing rolling. And so my thing is, where we taking these things at, we have to own the business, black people. We have to own the building, black people. We have to own the building. And so that's where we headed. We headed on owning the building. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but we have to own the building.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. No matter how long it takes.
No matter how long it takes.
Right.
You talked about your inspiration, right? And that story right there, that's just, I just want to go and participate just because of that,
Awesome.
right? Like
Awesome.
that's real, for real, because that's legacy, that's history, right? I think for me, it's looking at, you pulling back from the previous generation and saying, hey, no, we coming together.
Yeah.
Like you're not. That's not where your chapter ends, right?
Right.
So I guess my question to you is, what would you have for an aspiring entrepreneur, coming up to try to become a barber? What would you say to that individual? I know your first thing is we got to own the building. What would be your top 3 things, top 3 pieces of tips or advice?
Don't be afraid of the work. Show up early, stay late. And I said it earlier, love what you do. That's gonna be a big one. You have to love it first, otherwise it's not gonna happen. But don't be afraid of the work. Don't be afraid of the work. There are no shortcuts. Shortcuts end fast. So we got to be able to stand in there and stay with it. Me and another barber was talking earlier. The barber owner was talking earlier today, and he has the same problem we all have. It's like they don't want to work. They don't want to work. And I feel like there's a little bit of a misconception that, and I'm just talking about this barber industry, but it kind of transcends others as well. But they want to come in late and they want to leave early, and then they want to pout whenever things don't go their way. Well, I mean, you can't do that whenever you ain't. Like, tell me one successful entrepreneur, one successful athlete, one successful musician that wouldn't putting in like countless amount of times. If you was an athlete, you wasn't missing no workouts. You was doing extra workouts after the workouts.
Right.
So there's nothing that's gonna substitute that. That's a huge one. Be ready to do the work.
10,000 hours getting your reps in.
Exactly.
Man. I think it's Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. Read, people.
Right. Yeah.
That's another thing. I want to put that out there too, because Black Pearl Books. Eric stopped by, and he's gonna be putting in a bookshelf with 25 books. Right. Those books are to give away to anybody that wants to take them.
Okay.
And at the end of the month, if we use 10 of them, he gonna replace with another 10. If we use all 25, he gonna replace with another 25. So I just think it was a beautiful idea that he came up with. He's providing all the books, and if this thing goes well, I'm excited to see how people change by that. Because it's not just kid books. It's adult books too. That Malcolm Gladwell book was transformative. Whenever I was slow and trying to build my business, I was reading. I was reading, trying to sharpen up the tools.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's what's up.
Gotcha. So, man, I know, looking back, I know, you started Barber Vision in 2017. I know we already talked about some of the challenges that you've experienced, man. But on the other side of that, man, what are like some of the proudest moments that you've had since opening up Barber Vision? Like some positive, like, amazing stories that you had come through since then.
Man, you hit me. Let's see. Having an opportunity to, because I'm trying to make sure I say this because I don't want to put any names out there because then it turns into a different thing.
Right.
But there's been some opportunities whenever some people have not been able to fulfill the role that they wanted to fulfill because of some situations that they found themselves into, and being able to step up and just buy them some time. I don't think I'm doing a good job because I'm trying not to share too much about that personal information. But
Gotcha.
that was a pretty big one. Whenever somebody had to take a little time off, and you was able to step in, and just help that part of their life. You can do a lot. And sometimes it's like I got some young men that you see him, and I have a kid, and he had to have a cookie or a cracker in each hand whenever he was 2, and it's like the cookies are melting and dripping down his wrist, and now that kid is graduating from college, and he's getting into education. and now he's a young man doing his own thing. On one hand, I feel old, but on the other hand, I feel proud. So it's just like having these relationships with people and seeing them evolve. And some of people, like, you know, they had no kids, and I got one of my first client of all time. My first client of all time has changed so dramatically. He's an amazing father. I never saw that into him. He's made a total flip-flop in his whole life. And just to see him grow like that and just transform into this totally different person, and those same character traits that kept him being this person that he didn't want to be, those same character traits are making him the man that he is today. And he's using it in a positive way. So just seeing the development in people, seeing that journey in people has been, that's my biggest thing.
Right.
It's always gonna be.
Right.
That's what it is for me.
Okay. So man, okay. So kind of piggybacking on what you just said, right? So I know, even looking back on when I first started, you know, getting cut up by you, right? Like my life was totally different than what it is now. And because we've talked about this, you know, while I've been at the shop.
That's been beautiful.
Like, right? Like when I first started getting cussed, like I was a single dad, had 2 kids, hadn't met my wife yet. I had all that
He was
stuff.
out here wilding, debauchery.
Right, yeah. And so, like, literally that entire time, like, we would have conversations when I would get cut up, when I would get my cut. You know, I remember telling him, like, oh man, you know, I met my gal, Next conversation, man, I you know, I'm thinking about proposing. I got the ring, and then, you know, just the consistent updates, even updates about the podcast, all that. So much has changed from now to then. So yeah, important, you know, relationships like that, those interpersonal relationships, that means a lot, because the thing is, being a barber, right? Like at the end of the day, you're not just a barber. Like you become like a therapist. You can be a mentor to some people. You know, you serve all these different roles just from cutting somebody's hair. You know, you can do a lot for another person, you know, in that role, man, and it means a lot for the local community. It means a lot to me specifically just because I feel like you're not just a barber to me, like you're somebody I can really confide in and we'll be good. You know, like I don't have to worry about, you know, you running off and saying to somebody else, like, you know, we can talk in person and we'll be all right. So I you know, that's just me kind of going on a tangent. I appreciate you for that, since we're talking about our relationship.
Man, I appreciate
you know?
that.
Y'all got the attorney-client privilege.
Right, yeah, exactly.
It's a real thing too. But here's the other part about that. We talking in here, you know, I feel 100% comfortable. I've developed as a person. I was a super shy kid, didn't want to talk to nobody, was afraid that if I say something, I'm gonna say the wrong thing and I'm gonna mess it all up. So I might as well not say nothing at all.
Right.
And so I've gotten over that fear. But I also have a compassion for, I can see shy people and I know what they feeling like, and I'm able to draw from my past experiences to try to give them an opportunity to speak. And same thing y'all doing. Same thing that y'all doing. But that has been a huge development in my own personal life, being able to, I feel a lot. I feel everything, but a lot of times I don't know what to do with that. So being able to learn how to walk through those emotions and speak about what I'm actually feeling, and then absorb what someone else is telling me and help sort out the pieces, because I'm trying to sort out my own pieces too.
Right.
So that's amazing. And I don't take that lightly. I remember when he was telling me he was getting ready to propose, and I just thought that was just like the most amazing story ever, and the fact that he went through with it, and it's been everything, and then now he's telling me he's on. I'm not gonna share, but doing some new things too, and that's incredible. It's incredible. On the build.
Yeah, no.
On the build.
No, I know that's a beautiful thing, because you Zeus highlighted it earlier, right? Most black barbers are kind of like your therapist, right? Your life coach, your fashion stylists, and all these other things, financial literacy advisors, and all that stuff. And I know that watching him grow definitely pours into you. I guess my question for you is, when do you know it's the right time to pour into someone else while you're cutting their hair? Is it just that vulnerable moment because you know you chopping them up, or is it like it's a give and take thing that you kind of got to feel out?
My mentor, Mr. Page. Mr. Page is Rodney Page. He's the first African American coach that UT ever hired back in 71, 72, and he's my personal mentor now. And man, I look at him as a second, third father. He said people always have to be at a point of reception. you should be able to discern if they're at a point of reception. And you don't give them the whole playbook. You give them one play at a time. And you see how they operate with that. If they can take 2 plays next trip they're here, you give them 2. So you gotta. I mean, it takes, I guess, some maturity, and some experience. But you don't give them more than you can handle. Because I remember flying off like, okay, I see, and he's at a point where he says, I'm gonna just give him everything. I'm gonna give him everything, and it was too much, and it's overwhelming. Now they do nothing.
Right.
So it's just being able to feel the moment, and give them just enough to keep them going to the next round. But then it happens the other way sometimes. Sometimes they gassed up and they ready to go, and then the next time you see them, they right back where they was before we started the last conversation, which means they wasn't quite ready. And you got to be patient with that. But that's one of the most fulfilling parts of this occupation, and I got to give credit to my man Joe, because everybody know Joe is a wealth of knowledge. You know, he knows what I mean. That guy's absolutely amazing, and to have him with me all these years. Because when I started off at Hair Studio, it'll be 20 years for me in October. And when I started off, he was already at that current shop. And at a certain juncture, he says, man, D, wherever you go, I'll be there.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And he's kept that promise.
Yep.
And he's been a huge impact into this journey for me. So
That's beautiful.
It's about quality relationships.
Also shows the test of about just who you are as a person. For somebody to be there that long and say, I'm gonna stay true to my word, because he stayed true to his. That's so. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that.
Right. Now, I was gonna say, before we wrap up, let's go ahead and plug your social media handles. Where can everybody find you and Barber Vision?
Barber Vision 8777. I love that 8 stands for New Beginning. 3 7s mean jackpot, baby. So that's the Barber Vision 877. That's where you can find us on Instagram. barbervision.com if you want to schedule an appointment. Those are the 2 biggest festivals, and you can find us anytime. We there every day, 9 to 6, Saturdays from 7 to 4.
That's what's up.
You want to find a question of the night?
Yeah.
Go ahead and throw a little razzle dazzle in there.
Yeah. Throw a little razzle dazzle in there. So you got to hang out with us, spend some time with us. Let us know who would be a good guest to join us on the next episode of Conversation.
I've mentioned them a few times, and I'm gonna mention this because it's two. Can I do 2?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I do 2?
You did 12 if you want to.
Black Pearl Books.
Okay.
My man Eric and his wife. That would be some great guests to have, because those people have been there for a long. They're established and they're doing great things, and they sharing what they're about with the community that we're around. Another one is Carl Spencer. Carl Spencer is the president of 100 Black Men Austin.
Oh yes.
So those are 2 really, really big ones that I can see being in these chairs and sharing their story with you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, let's go ahead and line that up, man. I was gonna say, man, this wraps up our interview portion with D. We're gonna pay some bills in a minute. But once again, man, we appreciate you pulling up on us.
I appreciate
It's
y'all.
been a couple
man.
years in the
Thank
making to make this happen. And we appreciate taking out the time. We definitely got to do it again for like the full. We got to do the full interview next go around. But we're gonna go to commercial break. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be back shortly with the rest of the segment. Be right back. Hey.
Zeus P, St. Jude. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jude, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. Coming to you live, putting on for they see. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. And we back. Zeus P, St. Jude. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jude, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. Coming to you live, putting on for they see. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay. Zeus P, St. Jude. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't do the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
Coming to you live, putting on for they city.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
They got every
And we back, and we back. Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't do the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
coming to you live, putting on for they city.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
They got every
Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't do the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
coming to you live, putting on for they city.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
They got every
And we back, and we back. Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't do the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
coming to you live, putting on for they city.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
They got every
Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't do the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
coming to you live, putting on for they city.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
They got every
And we back, and we back. Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, ain't do the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
coming to you live, putting on for they city.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J.
They
Lay.
got every
Zeus P, Tank Juice. Let the light in, man. It's the 2-hour lunch break.
And we are back. Want to give a special shout out to D for joining us from Barber Vision, really showing his love and support to ATX. And also, definitely, if you are free August the 11th, 1 to 6, please be certain to pull up for free haircuts for the children, for the children,
For the kids.
for the
babies.
kids, back to school, all right, for the
Right.
kids, not for everybody, for the kids, okay? He's looking to get 100 kids there, but if he can make 300, God to be glory, all right? But let's move on, man. So how is the week, man?
Oh,
How's
man.
everything been?
Big announcements, man.
Yeah, man.
Big things up.
Yeah.
Right. So now we've actually been talking about this off air.
Yeah.
But now that it's done, we
Yes.
can actually go public with it.
Yeah.
So of course my wife and I finally closed on a new home.
Congratulations.
Shout out to my baby. I love you.
Congratulations,
You know,
big
she said I don't
dog.
be shouting her enough on camera, so I'm making sure that go ahead and do that. I love you, baby. I'm shouting you out right now. This is for you.
Public.
Right? Yeah. So, close on a house, man. It has been a trying experience. dog. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. We're still like in the process of like moving everything.
Yeah, of course.
But the paperwork side.
Oh,
is
yeah.
done.
It's a yeah.
Right,
Okay, good.
Like between house, like dog, going to see houses and
Yeah,
visits,
yeah.
and then we had to close, and then we like scrambling trying to put the money together. You know the process.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
you guys.
It's
You know
kinda
what I mean? Like
ridiculous.
you've been through it before.
It's kind of ridiculous.
And yeah, bro. So I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I kind of leaned on my wife a lot with this process before.
I
with
agree.
this process,
I agree
and I say that
100%.
because she's been through it before. Like she's owned a home.
Mhm.
The thing is, I have never necessarily owned. I've always rented. I've had my own apartments.
Right.
You know, of course, I stayed with my parents before, but I had always rented.
Right.
And so I was kind of like nearby the first go around when she, you know, closed on her first home. But I really wasn't aware of everything that went to it until like I got into the trenches with her. You know what I mean? And I was like, ooh, buddy. You know,
not for the faint of heart here.
Yeah, so shout out to my wife, man. I'm not even gonna lie.
Shout out.
She definitely, you know, put me on with a lot of information that I wasn't previously aware of.
Yeah.
So I appreciate her for that. I'm just glad we're done.
Yeah, man.
All that, man. So yeah, I'm just ready to get fully moved in. How about you, bro? What's going on with you?
Hey, man, nothing much, man. Nothing much. I can't say anything crazy. I really want to say congratulations to you. Shout out to you. I know that's a big feat.
I appreciate it, man.
Man, how does it feel to be in your new crib, though?
It's a relief, dog.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like we did the signing, right? Like we didn't do it digitally. We did it digitally. We didn't go to the office. So we did that. Ran over to the office to go get the keys, and like, fam, it was just I got a chance to like open the door on a home that I own. I paid for this. Like I like my money.
Mine.
You know what I mean? So the feeling in that is definitely, you definitely feel like a feeling of ownership.
Right.
You know, because you know I was in the process every step of the way. I helped finance this entire deal, you know, of course, along with my wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you know, for the first time, I felt like there was a home that was mine specifically, right? So that was definitely an amazing feeling. I'm glad to have a place where, you know, me and my wife can grow.
That's what's up.
We got our babies there. They love the house.
Yeah.
They got all the extra rooms. We got a play area, man. My oldest, she was like break dancing in the living room, all kind of stuff, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm happy that they're happy. This is a space where they can grow.
Yeah.
We got extra bedrooms, so my parents can come out to the house and spend the night.
Bless up.
I talked to them beforehand. They coming to the house. I'm about to press them.
Yeah.
Until they come to the house.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna come out and make this drive. They're gonna kick it with us. They got room now.
Right.
So I don't wanna hear no excuses. I don't wanna hear my mama saying nothing. Nathaniel, I don't wanna hear nothing. They need to come out to the house.
Yeah, come spend some time with your son.
Right,
you know
yeah, man. Come out. Casa de Petty.
Right.
Pull up.
That's what's up, man. I'm really excited for you, bro. That's a true blessing, man. But this week has been, you know, nothing too crazy, nothing too out the norm, right? Just you know, working, trying to get stuff done. One thing I will say, I know we don't have a lot of time, but DreamCon, DreamCon was crazy.
Amazing experience, dog.
That was crazy.
How did you feel about it? Because we pulled up together for people that don't know.
Right.
How did you feel about the experience?
Man, I will definitely say that it was probably one of the best experiences I've had in Austin, seeing people similar to us that looked like us, that wanted to just join and have a good time and fellowship. What I also will say is something that you said, and I'm going to steal it. Now, if anybody's asking, I stole it from Zeus.
Okay.
I thought I was a nerd before I went.
Oh, bruh.
I am not. It's the equivalent of you thinking that you finna everybody out there that's a hooper, right? You're hooping in high school. You like,
I know where you gonna take it.
I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make the league.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make the league.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind I'm making the league. Then you see a D1 athlete and you like,
oh, this different.
I need to rethink this. That's
Right.
exactly what DreamCon was, right?
Right.
I thought I knew all about Goku. I thought I knew all about Naruto. No, I don't. No,
Hey,
I have no
man,
knowledge.
We went to DreamCon, dog. Them boys in the anime trenches.
What?
Like I seen some stuff I ain't never. I seen characters and cosplays I ain't never seen, dog.
But it was so dope, though.
No, it was amazing.
It
It
was
was,
so dope.
just this was. I was like, oh, okay. There's a whole other world apparently I
Right.
was not aware of.
Right.
You know, so I think it was cool. One, it was cool to see it like with people that look like us, just like you were saying earlier. Because the thing is when you think about that space typically, aesthetically, we not really present like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so to see an event like that, especially in Austin, which already has its own issues with gentrification and all this other stuff, so to see a black event like that has been amazing. And so I want to say, shout out to a guest of the podcast, man, Kiera Keys. Yep. She lined it up for us, man. She came through.
Clutching up.
She does a lot of good work with DreamCon, man. She definitely, she was, she created it to where we could participate in DreamCon, man. So, shout out to her. I know she had actually posted about it. She said DreamCon was the biggest event at the Austin Convention Center this entire year. Yeah. Bigger than South by, bigger than any kind of work event. That's crazy. For the Austin Convention Center specifically, it was the biggest event of the year, man. So shout out to DreamCon and shout out Kiera Keys, man. Shout out the rest of RDC World.
Yeah, absolutely. And make certain that you guys check out. We're going to be dropping a new episode with Keys. And also, big special shout out to Kendall King. He is the director of partnership and sponsorship for DreamCon. Make sure you guys check out our page and channel for those events and programs, man. We're going to have a really, really good conversation, really, really good topics on those two interviews in particular, man. So special shout out to that.
Yeah, so stay tuned in, man. Also, FYI, this will be our last live pod of the summer. So in this slot, there will be other shows at DAWA that will be participating at the same time. This is our final one, but for our regular content, we are still available. It's going to be coming out every Friday on our YouTube, on Instagram. Check out at 2HLB Pod on Instagram and at X on the 2 Hour Lunch for all content going forward, man.
Make sure you tap in with us. We love y'all. We going to miss y'all, but we always going to be here. Make sure you check out the YouTube page and make sure you holler at us on IG to tap in.
See our sexy, beautiful black faces, original Asiatic black man faces. Holla at y'all, man.
Next time. Peace.
Zeus P. Tank Jew. Let the light in. Man, it's the 2 hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jew, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2 hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2 hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late. And we back. Zeus P. Tank Jew. Let the light in. Man, it's the 2 hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jew, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2 hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2 hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late. Zeus P. Tank Jew. Let the light in. Man, it's the 2 hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jew, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2 hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2 hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late. And we back. Zeus P. Tank Jew. Let the light in. Man, it's the 2 hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jew, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2 hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2 hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late. Zeus P. Tank Jew. Let the light in. Man, it's the 2 hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jew, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2 hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late.
Coming to you live, putting on for they free.
This is that 2 hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Late. And we back. Zeus P. Tank Jew. let the light in. Man, it's the 2-hour lunch break, dog. I'm locked in. So turn your speakers up a notch and grab the white gin. And when I'm on the road to the office or the crib, it's Big Zeus, St. Jude, the ones I wanna hear. This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady Bird J. Lay.
Coming to you live, putting on for they city.
This is that 2-hour lunch break live from Lady